Yeah, good evening, guys. Hello. Am I audible?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
very good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah,
Good
very
evening.
good. And yeah, let me think. What is the last topic? I think we are seeing deployment, right? Everything.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
both
Now,
on-premise, hybrid, and cloud
okay.
updates.
Hybrid also we are seeing, right? I remembered hybrid.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, then we are going to now enter into the. So now we are going to discuss what are the each and everything inside of your endpoint platform. Oh, what is the one? Okay. So now we can come with the anypoint studio. You can see the order you can see first one is the design center, right? Let me you can see what the design center is. Design center is nothing but where we can design our API. That means you can see inside of the design center, we can able to design your YAML code. Okay, just remember. So inside of the design center, we can able to write your YAML.
Camel code.
Okay. So what is the YAML? We will explain one by one. Okay. So YAML is nothing but the RESTful API modeling language. Generally, we can call it as one. So by using the YAML, we can able to create dummy APIs. That is the one. Just remember. 1 second, guys. Okay, inside of the YAML, by using the YAML, we can able to develop our dummy APIs. That will be written inside of where? Inside
Design
of
center.
design
Design
center. So I am giving the outlines of the what is the all the things. The second one, once your application, your app is developed inside of your design center, so we need to push enter them inside of a exchange. Okay, so I just open this exchange. 1 second. So exchange is the place where we can see all your assets. Assets means, for example, you are developed some API, some X is developed APIs. So you want to use that APIs, right? So first we need to identify where is your APIs are. So the exchange is the place where we can see all APIs which are developed by you or some other one. Okay. So exchange generally we can call it a centralized repository where we can able to find the different APIs. Okay. So for example, SAP systems, they are developed some kind of APIs that developed some connectors where we can able to see all those things means
exchange.
inside of exchange. So where we can design our APIs?
Design center.
Design center. Once the design center is completed, the design part is completed, we need to push or we need to publish whatever the API you were created inside of.
Exchange.
Why we are pushing
Exchange.
the exchange? Because this is the place where we can found all the APIs. For example, your developed API, you want to sold this API to someone X and Y. So first we need to represent my API looks like this one. So the entire demo part and entire orchestration, everything will be available inside of the exchange. Exchange, we can call it as a centralized place, centralized repository where we can found all the APIs. Okay, so that's the second one. Then you already know what is this one? Access management, API manager, runtime manager. So inside of this one, first we can open the access manager. And you can see the name itself indicates it. What is this one?
Access management.
So what is the meaning of access management? You can see inside of your organization, different projects are going on, right? So each project has their own credentials are there, their own environments are there. So everything we can able to control by using this access management. Okay,
Yes.
in single words. Okay, then we can go to what is the one. This is the most important one. Now you can see what is this one. Just read out the name.
API
API
management.
So
manager.
what is the API manager? You developed the API, you published it into the exchange, then you want to control the mechanism of your API. So for example, only authentication persons only want to use this API. So you want to control the your entire API. That means we need to apply the policies, we need to control the usage of your API that will be done inside of
API
API
manager.
manager.
So that you can see API managing. That means we can able to manage our API. How we can able to manage the API? That means we can able to restrict the usage of that API. That we can call it as a API manager. Okay. Then the last one is the runtime manager. What is this runtime manager? The name itself indicates, you can see. So this is the runtime environment where your APIs are executing. Got it? You can see the same order. You can see the first one. What is the first one?
Design center.
So inside of the design center, what we do, we can simply
RAM.
define the RAML. That means we are going to create a dummy API. Once you create the dummy API, we need to push them into the some place where we can see all your API. That place we can call it as a.
Exchange.
Endpoint
So
exchange.
that means once your asset, whatever your API is available inside of the exchange, depending on that one, you are created a original API. For that one, we need to maintain it. That means we need to give some restrictions to usage of that API. That will be done inside of
API manager.
API manager. So this API manager always connects with the where is your APIs are running. So my APIs are running inside of the Cloud Hub or inside of the on-premises server, inside of the RTF. That information is available inside of
Runtime
Runtime.
manager.
that. Now you can understand what are all these things. So design center, the RAML way part we can do it. The exchange where we can see all your asset. So the access management is the entire project architecture. The API manager, the API
Manage all
manager.
API.
So
Manage
Manage all
manage
API.
means the policies we can apply it. The runtime manager.
environment.
So where my applications are running. Okay, so these are the things generally we need to aware of these things. Okay, let me create first. We'll create the simple RAML. So before discussion of the RAML creation is very easy. Just remember, now you can see I'm going to create one simple API. 1 second. No, then you can see. So for example, I want to perform one employee information. For that one, I need to create a one endpoint. Okay. So how my endpoint look like? My endpoint, it is HTTP, and you can see I'm calling like this one HTTP localhost. But the next one is the port number 8081, then the slash API, then slash employee. Okay. So this is my API, right? This is the
Yes.
REST-based API, right? For this one, what is the most important one? What is my endpoint?
Employee.
Employee.
And you can see how your API looks like for this entire structure. First, we can start with your employee. So that is your endpoint. So this endpoint, then we can give the colon, then you can simply get enter, then you can give one space. This employee endpoint is belongs to which API, which method it is going to allow. Get method or post method, put method, that will be your second one. Okay, so my employee, this is performing the get method. When we hitting of the get method, what it is going to do? Get always give the perform, which perform it is going to perform the read operation. Once you read the operation, it is getting some data. I want to give this data to the my end user. So giving data to the end user, technically what we call it as request or response.
Response.
Then we need to, after getting the call, what you need to do? So if there is any parameter we are passing, then we can pass it. If there is no parameter is there, then we need to give the response, right? Then you can see response. Okay. So in which format I want to give my response? Where we need to, generally we need to give the response, right, in the application slash JSON, right? Right, you
Yes.
can see application. So I want to give my response in the form of the JSON. Then, so here just remember, for the response, there are two things a response we can able to give. If it is success, then we can give the response for this success scenario. And if it is fail, in the failure scenario also, we can able to give the response, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Then meant the response always comes with the two things. The first one is either you can give the success means 200 and the failure means 500. In the each scenario, I want to give my data output as a JSON format. So this is my JSON format, right? So whatever you are just seeing, this is your RAML structure, that is. So whatever we are talking about an API, that will be structurizing some structural format. That is that we can call it as a RAML. Okay, RAML is very simple. Now you understand this is just template, right?
Yes.
So depending on this template, it is automatically creating the structure for you. Okay, now the same scenario we are going to take it and we are going to create a ramel for that one. Then you guys understand so very easily. Okay, then we can go to our endpoint platform. So where we can need to design your ramel?
Design center.
Design center, then go to the design center. Here I'm going to create a new one, create a new. So there are different things are there. As of now, first you can go for this one. What is this one?
New
New.
API specification.
Okay, so click on this one. I'm going to give it my employee is my project name. Employee project or employee. I can give it. Then which version of the ramel I am using it?
1.0.
So this is the one. Just create an API. Let's see how it is going to create it. Just wait, it is taking. Now you can see whatever you are seeing this window, the middle part, whatever you are seeing, this the middle part, we going to create a ramel code. Okay. I think we can zoom, we can reduce the zoom center. Yeah. Is it okay font and everything, guys?
Yes.
Yeah. Now you can see by default, whenever you are giving the ramel, which version of ramel we are running?
1.0.
1.0 for the data view.
2.0.
2.
So that is the one. These are two always confusing part. Okay, don't forget this one. The ramel we are having the 1.0 only, and the data view we have the 2.0 only. Okay. Now what is my API name?
Employee.
Now you can see when we click on the center, it is here. You can see in the downward, it is automatically giving some suggestions. You guys are observed. So this is the one of the advantage of using the Anypoint platform to write your ramel means it is automatically giving the suggestions. Even you can use your notepad also to write your ramel code. But what is the advantage of using this Anypoint platform? So these are always giving the suggestions for you. Okay, let's create. You can see whatever here you can see this, we can call it as a preview window. So once you create the API, once you write on the code inside of the middle part, it is automatically give here the documentation part, everything lively. Okay, now here you can see, for example, I want to, you can see different things are available document. I want to give some description. Okay, so what is my description? A simple employee API demo. I am giving like this one. Okay, now you can see, I think simple SIM. Now you can see once you written the code here, automatically the documentation part, it is automatically generated. You guys are observed?
Yes.
So that is the one of the advantage. Then you can click on enter here. For this one, what is the most important one for the API? You can always, the API starts with the ramel, how we can endpoint, right? So how we
Yes.
can define the endpoint? Simply given like this one. Then I can give my endpoint as a employee. So after this one, you can simply give the colon. Then it is, we can call it as a one employee. Now you can observe it once you give this one automatically, it is in the documentation part. What is this thing coming? API endpoints. How many endpoints are here?
One employee.
There is only one endpoint is there for this endpoint. So we can able to give different method definition. For example, get method definition, I can able to give it the put. So I can go for this one. The post method, you can say I'm not returning it. You can see employee get method, employee post method. The next one is employee put method. You can see first I'm not returning any definition. First I'm defining it. The patch. The last one is delete. Okay, now you can see I'm just defining everything inside of my employee endpoint. There are how many methods available? How many? 5 methods. For example, I want to write the code for the get method. Okay, then you can simply click on enter. Now you can see it is automatically suggesting something, right? So what is the use of this one? I am writing simple one. So what is the just get call always do? It can perform the read operation or it can perform the write operation.
Read.
That means, for example, I am calling like this one. What is my intention is it should return all the employee information. That is my requirement. Got it, guys?
Yes.
So then go to here. For here my employee get method is there. Here I want to, so I don't want to send any query parameters or I don't want to send any kind of parameter, but in return it want to give response or request.
Response.
Then
Response.
you can see, is there any word is there with the responses?
Yes, responses.
Then you can simply click on response. What kind of response you want to give? You want to give the success response or you want to give the failure response? That will be defined here. Okay, 200 is for the,
Success.
Success.
so 500 is for the failure, right?
Mm.
For the 200 response, for example, I want to give the 200 response where I want to display my data. In the header part or the body part, or where we need to define my data?
Inside
Body
the
part,
body.
right? Then you can give the body part and what format I want to give it. JSON
Absolutely.
format or XML format, display. So in this example, I want to give my output as a,
Yes, sir.
Yes.
then we need to select a JSON. So here, so what is the example? Here I want to give some structure, right? As of now, so I don't want to give any structure. For example, here I want to give some example. Okay, so what I want to give here?
Example.
Example, right? Then I can give the example here. So my data is coming out of like this one. Show you. Is there any data is there? Let us any employee data. I think we are overridden that. We're going to create one thing. Yeah. Let me create. So my employee ID. So this is the example when we hit this one 100 and the name I'm going to give it Smith. Always I'm taking the same example. The job, what is the job? I'm giving the HR. Okay. So now you can see whenever we're hitting the employee get information, it is automatically giving this response. Then what about the failure scenario?
Not found.
The failure also where we need to give this information. Again, in the body
Body.
section, again in the body section, which format? JSON format. Here also we need to give the example. In what format we need to give the example? I am giving like this one. Status equal to, sorry, 500. Then I can give the message like this one. What is the message? Internal error, right? Something internal error. Okay. Now you are just completed the one simple RAML code with the definition of the get method. Okay. So you can see you are simply written everything right here. Hello.
Yes.
So now maybe you cannot understand what is this everything. You can see here you are written some documentation, right? So when we hit on this employee get method, it should return this value, right?
Yeah.
Now you can see click on get method. You can see it is my marking URL. You can see it is giving the 200 response as well as 500 responses, something like that one. Now what is my requirement? This is the this documentation part, right? Now whatever the API you are created, I want to test this API. Just remember what I want to do. I want to test my API. Okay. So how we can test the APIs means this is the greatest advantage of writing the RAML is depending on whatever the code you are written, it is automatically creating the dummy API for you. So where we can get the dummy API means here you can able to see what is this one.
Mocking service configuration.
So you can simply click on this marking service, just enable this one. Okay, so when we enable this one, what happens means it is automatically giving one cloud-based URL for you. You can just copy that URL, go to your Postman. So previously, how we can access your Cloud Hub environment APIs? So by using the domain name something, right?
Yes.
The same way. So you can see whatever the APIs we are giving, you can see I am removing everything. Then we guys are easily remember. 1 second. I removed everything. Then here you can see. So we need to test this API, right? For this testing API, they are already giving the my marking URL. You can just copy that marking URL, come here and just place here. Okay. The next thing is you can see. So this is entire thing, whatever you are entered, this is my domain name. That is my server. After this one, we need to call your endpoint, right? So what is
Yeah.
my endpoint?
Employee.
Right now you can see employee. Now it is taking different methods. Get method is there, post method is there, something, right? So here I'm hitting with my get method. Let's see what happens. You can see it is giving 200 success, and you can see it is giving some output, right? So where this output is coming?
Dummy API.
So that means you can see you are just demonstrating the your API. You are just written the 5 lines of the code. Depending on that one, it is already creating the marking API, I mean dummy API. Whenever we need to give some demo to the user external point of view, hey man, this is my API call. When we hit this API call, my output is coming like this one. This is my 200 success. This is the way we can able to give some demo, right?
Yes.
So without creating any original implementation inside of your AnyPoint Studio, you are already creating one API and you are giving some demonstrate on the user. Depending on that one, we can able to go for the real-time development, right?
Yes.
So this is the one of advantages of writing the RAML. Got it, guys? So why we are returning the RAML means it is automatically creating some structure for you. Okay, for example, you can see there are definitions are there. You can see, for example, I am removing everything here. So now you can see what happened. How many method definitions are available here? How
One
many
only.
method definitions are available? Only one, right? Okay,
Yes.
now you can go and see inside of the postman. You can hit with the post method. Let's see what happens. Oh, 1 second. I think it is not at. You can see star mark means it's still in not saving state. Once it is got saved, then we can do like this one. 1 second.
Can we develop RAML inside Studio as well?
Yes, we can able to do it. But you can
Inside
see what is the
AnyPoint Studio.
advantages of this one. That suggestions are not coming.
In Studio also?
Yeah, in Studio they're not providing any suggestions. You can say RAML is not the not the product of your MuleSoft. Just remember. So whatever the RAML is used to design your REST-based APIs. So you can use any language to develop the REST-based API. You can use the RAML code. Okay, that is the point. Just mind it. Okay.
Okay, so RAML is not associated with MuleSoft.
No. It's the independent product, but they are integrated this one. Okay, so wherever the REST based APIs are there the RAML we can use it. Okay.
Yes.
No, now you
Yes,
can
sir.
see there is only one endpoint is there. Now we can hit this one. Let's see what happens. You can see it is automatically throwing which error.
Format found, method not
Now
found.
you can see that means there is no definition is there. Then you can give demo like this one, right, for the user. So this is the I am in my API call. I am only allowing the get method. There are no other methods. We are not going to allow you. Then when we hit this one, we can get the error like this one. So we can able to give demo to the user. Got it?
Yes.
So that is the one intention, one point. Okay. So for example, now what is my requirement is I want to add one more method definition, that is the post method. I want to give the definition. Then tell me how we can create the post method definition. So this is now you can see closely observe these vertical lines are coming. You guys are able to see.
Yes.
These we can call it as the indentation. So the employee is your root element. Inside of that one, we are using the get. So after that one, you are giving some space. That means whatever the code you are written inside of this indentation, that is belong to definition of get
Get.
method. Now you guys tell me where we need to write your post method. In
After this
the first
indentation.
line or second line or third line, where we need to give it the same indentation of the get method. Then here you can see I can write the post method definition here, then click on enter. Now go and see my endpoint. You can see my post method is coming the same thing, but you can see for the post method, let us assume you want to give the request, right?
Yes, body.
So how we can give the request? The
Request.
same thing you can see. You can see now you can understand the advantages of these suggestions. For the post method, what you need to give the request. For the request, there is no word for the request. By default, whatever you are first we are performing, that is treated as a request. So where we need to send your data? For the postman, you can see you are sending some data here, right?
Body.
So in the body section, you are sending which kind of data you are sending in the body?
Application this one.
Right, then that is the defined here. That is the one. Now for the postman, I want to send some body, so that we can give the body and which kind of data I want to send it.
JSON.
JSON data. So for this one, I am giving the example here. So I'm performing, I want to giving like data like this one, employee. Now you can see one of the advantage of this one, employee ID. I am giving 101 and I'm giving the name. What is the one? Martin I am giving. So something different. Then here I can give the job. What is the job? I am going to give it some developer of here. Okay. Now the same thing. Once your request is done, then what we need to do? What we need to do?
Response.
So we need to give the response. Now you can see the which indentation I want to give. So one step backward, you can see is there any responses is coming? Suggestions? No. Then again we can go one back forward. Again we are not getting. Then again we can go one step backward. Now you can see is there any word with the responses?
Yes.
Then you can see. So this is the way we can able to understand. So what the response you want to give the 200 response as well as 500 responses, right? So I'm giving for the 200 response. What is the one where we need to give our what is the one body section? What kind of output?
JSON.
JSON. Then as
Example.
of now we want to give the example. So what is the example thing you want to give it? So data is submitted successfully, something like that one. Then I can give status equal to 201 something, for example. And then what is the message?
Data inserted successfully.
Yeah. Data posted successfully. Okay. For the 500, for the
Internal.
500. So already 500 definition is there now. What I do, I can simply copy it, right? The most of the cases, the RAML, we have done the copy paste only. Now you can see 500 body section, everything is something like that, right? Now you can just wait for until it got saved, then we go and test it. Here you can understand one of the most useful feature of the RAML. Let's wait 2 seconds. It is gone. Then we can go. Meanwhile, we can see the deployment documentation. Get method definition is there. Post method definition is there. Let's wait for it. No, it is not yet saved. Once it got saved, then you can see it. Because the RAML writing the RAML is very, very easy, guys. Just you can spend 2 to 3 hours. You can maybe you can easily write your RAML. Now it is got the, then we can go here. So first, as usually, first we can go for the get call. The get call, it is automatically getting the data. Then I can change to the post method. You can see inside of the body section, I'm not going to give any data. Let us say, you can see in the body section, I'm sending any data.
No.
Now let's see what happens. You can see it is throwing an error. Why it is throwing an error?
Request validation.
That means whatever the RAML code you are written, that is acted as a validation schema. That means it is automatically validating at the starting level of your program. So my post method always allowing you the body section. So if it is the body is there, then only I can able to execute this post method. So that is the entry level validation is done, right?
Yes.
Now you can see I'm simply go to postman. You can see what kind of data I am forwarding.
JSON.
Let's hit it. You can see again it is showing an error. Why it is showing an error?
It's empty, right?
So we need to pass the JSON structure, then only we can able to get it. Right now you can see maybe it is a empty. Don't worry. Okay. Then you can see what error, what the data I am getting.
Data posted.
But you can see it is expecting the body in the form of the JSON structure, then only we can able to produce it. So how we can validate it is coming, we will see in the later. As of now, just remember, so for the post method, we need to pass the body section as my request, then only we can able to produce. So whatever you can see that entry level schema validation, it is automatically performed by your RAML. Got it right? So you can, maybe you are asking, sir, is there no validation? You are just sending the empty data. So is it possible to validate the data here? Maybe my input is coming only 3 parameters or 5 parameters, then only I want to allow it. That is also possible. Don't worry, we will see one by one. Okay.
Yes.
So as of now, you can just understand. So how we can return my endpoint. This is my endpoint. So inside of the endpoint, how many method definitions I am written? One is the get method. One is the post method. So inside of the get method, is there any request I have written?
No.
No, it is only giving the response. Which response I am giving for the status code?
200.
200. And where we are giving the response?
Body section.
Body section. What kind of data I am returning?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You can see this is the way simplest way of return the RAML, right? So once you return the RAML, you need to give the demo to the user. So how we can able to do it? You can simply go to
Marking
marking
services.
services. When we click on this one, it is automatically creating one cloud-based URL. If you want, you can share this URL to your friend and they can use their postman to hit this one. It is automatically giving the output like this one. So this is the way we can able to create the marking URLs. Got it, guys?
Yes.
So this is the simple one. Just remember, it's not a complete RAML. I don't want to discuss everything here. So this is the simple RAML you can understand. We are completed the first stage of your RAML. What is the second one? You can see we are just completed design center, right? What is the second one?
Exchange.
So we need to
Exchange.
publish whatever the API you are created inside of your centralized repository. So you can see there is one button is icon. You can see what is this one?
Publish.
Publish.
Then simply click on this publish. Now you can see it is asking, right? Publish to.
Exchange.
Exchange.
Then simply click on exchange. Let's see what happens. So you can see it is automatically coming the asset version. Asset means, so whatever the RAML code you are pushing to the exchange we are call it everything, it call it a asset. Okay. So my asset version is 1.0.0 and my version is the V1. Maybe the same thing we revised and we are adding some modification, then we can change this version to V1 to V2, something like that one. Okay. So then you can see published version. I think why it is showing an error. 1.0.0, I think. Then here we can do the V1. Then you can see what is the now it is enabled. Then click on publish to exchange. Let's see what happens. It is taking some time, don't worry. Now we are published exchange, then go to your exchange. You can see this is my exchange. Now you can see self means whatever the APIs you are created by once. You can see this is the API you are just created. Okay. Now maybe now you can ask one, so what are the usage of exchange? So now you can see, so from X and Y is coming to your new. So I want requirement, I want to implement my employee AP. Is there any ready-made APIs you are having? Then you said that one in my exchange there is API is there. If you want, you can go and go through it, right? So this the just you are giving some information to the user and you send this exchange URL to your friend. Then you can simply go to this URL and you can open it. You can see once you open your exchange, sorry, your asset inside of the exchange, everything you can able to see it. You can see. So by seeing this documentation, you can able to understand everything. You can see. So this is my API. It is carving how many endpoints. There is only one endpoint is there. How many methods definition they are written? They are written two definition. For example, employee get information. I am clicking. You can see. So everything it is available now. So every documentation part it is coming here. Maybe the user can understand. So when we click on employee get information, if the success means I am getting this response. If it is failure means I am getting this response. This is the way he can able to identify whether this API is very near to my requirement or not. Got it, guys?
Yes.
So technically, your exchange contains the all API with the documentation. For example, I want to use this post method. You can see the post I want to send. This is the my body section. Once you print the body section, if it the 200 means this is the one message, you can this the 500. So everything we can able to understand, right?
Yes.
So for example, this API is not available inside of the exchange. The third party person maybe can understand how your API works, how your API works.
No.
Mhm.
No, then you can understand what are the usage of the exchange.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So exchange is nothing but just like your car showcase, right? Your car showrooms are there. The automobile manufacturer company that build one, they design one new car. Then what you need to do? So you need to showcase your new car, right?
Yes.
So where we can showcase that new cars, they have the lot of showrooms are there. They can place their new car inside of the showroom. The everybody come and see the features and everything, right?
Yes.
The same thing here we are applying. Whatever the showrooms things are there, that is your exchange. Exchange is the place where we can see all the assets which are developed by the MuleSoft developers or other organizations, everything. So whenever we need to do or whenever we need to develop a new API, so I don't want to create anything. You can simply go to the exchange. Is there any nearest API is there which will fulfill my requirement? Then I can go and I can talk with the developer of this API and I can got the access for that API, right?
Yeah. So can you
Yes.
show the already existing
So
assets
already accessible one you can see what is the one.
provided by Microsoft?
Let's click on this one. You can see
Mhm.
these are all the APIs are which are provided by MuleSoft people. Some of the free APIs are there, some of the paid APIs are there. For example, you can this is the Salesforce connector. This is
Mongo.
developed by the MuleSoft, right? Now you can see how we can able to do this one. So our what are the endpoints, everything we can able to do it. I think we can go like this one. I think it is a connector. Let's say there is IS. You can see. So you can
It's
see this is
also
a connector, right? Asset list and one second. There is we can able to see this is the
any
connector.
API. Any,
Yeah,
there
that's
are
what
API
I'm saying. We are showing the APIs,
factor authentication.
REST APIs. We are such like this one. Okay. Simple API. We are going to see it. Otherwise, you can see Salesforce APIs. You can see. So this is the one of the API which is developed by this for the developer the Salesforce for the MuleSoft. Now you can see. So what are the endpoints and everything?
Mhm.
No? So this is the way we can able to get the, all the information, right? So for example, I want to use this API, then we can see the documentation of this one. It is suitable for the by me. Then I can talk with the MuleSoft people and I can able to start using of this API. Got it?
Yes.
So just like when everything, whatever the development you are developed everything and you can publish inside of the exchange and maybe other people can see the documentation like this one and they can feel so this is the suitable for my requirement or I want to do some customization depending on that one. So they can get one idea by seeing the API like this one. Got it?
Yes.
So that is the usage of your exchange. So exchange is the place where we can see all your
Assets.
Assets.
assets. Okay, so this is the API I just created and my asset is available inside of.
Exchange.
So two parts are completed. So you developed the raml inside of the design center and you were published that asset, that published raml inside of the exchange. That means you were created the asset inside of the
Exchange.
exchange, right? So two part is completed. The next one is what is the most important one?
API manager.
API
So
manager.
let's see what is the API manager can do. So let's forget about the access management now. So what is the API manager can do? So you can see the previously we are talking about one deployment model, hybrid deployment model. You guys are remembered.
Yes.
Yes.
So what is the hybrid deployment?
It is the
Deployment locally, controlling from cloud.
Good, right? So just keep it that mind. Now you can see here, and I will show one simple diagram is there. I think it is available or not. One second. And here not there. One second, guys. Then presentations. There any images are there? No, no, no. There is one clean diagram is there. Guys are able to see control part hybrid model. And 1 second, guys. Yeah, this is the diagram. You can see, forget about auto discovery, we can talk like this one. So this is the most important one is where your applications are running. Your applications are running inside of your runtime manager. That may be a cloud hub, that may be on-premises server, that may be a hybrid or anything, RTF something, right? So, but whatever the APIs are running inside of the runtime manager, we need to control that one. So the controlling is nothing but we need to give some authentication. So what who are having the authentication URLs, those people can able to run, can able to use my APIs. Okay. So the MuleSoft people, what they do, they're separating these two things. The first one is the runtime manager where your applications are running. So we are not going to touch that one to control my runtime manager. So we can simply, they're creating another layer, that is my API manager. So inside of the API manager, what I can do is by using this API manager, we can able to control whatever the apps running inside of my execution environment. Got it? So that means my apps are running inside of runtime manager. But these runtime manager, whatever the apps are running, those controlled by
API
API.
so here controlling is nothing but the applying the
policy.
Policies.
so policy is nothing but the giving the authorizations and authentications. Got it? So this is the one of the interview question, guys. So how we can control the apps, how we can apply the policies means where we can apply the policies.
API.
API manager.
So whatever the policies are applied inside of the API manager, those things will be reflect inside of.
Runtime manager.
Runtime manager.
So both are different. Got it?
Yes.
Right? So how we can connect these two means.
API.
So this is your interview question. Okay, we can talk about this API auto discovery later, but you can observe it. There are two things available. Okay, let's come here. Let's see how we can apply one simple application here. Let's say. Okay, so as of now here you can see, is there any API is running?
No.
Now we need to add the API. So here, where is your API?
It's inside.
Just go to
the
one step backward. Where is your API?
Exchange.
Exchange, that is the one, just remember. Okay, so add new API here. You can see here my API, where it is my API. Okay, 1 second. Flex gateway, not the one. 1 second, guys. No, I think it is coming. It had changed it. 1 second. They are upgraded the things. 1 second, guys. Okay, yeah. So existing inside of the whatever the thing, we can select this one, go to the next. Okay, now you can the second step, what it is coming.
Select API from Exchange.
So when we select this one, mean it is automatically creating the one demo API here, but you are already creating API, that is API is available inside of the exchange. So whatever the your organization exchange is there, from there it is automatically picking all the APIs for you. Okay, so this is the API you are just created, right?
Yes.
Then you can simply select that one. Then so you can see when we selecting on this one, it is automatically giving that asset information. My asset is developed based on the ramen and which version v1 and asset version is 1 point. Everything it is picking from your exchange. Okay,
Yes.
that means whatever the API is available inside of the exchange, I am adding that exchanging into the my control plane. So what is my control plane name here?
API manager.
Right, that is the one, just keep mind, then click on next. Now you can see it is asking some labels and everything. So if you want, you can fill this one, otherwise you can simply click on next, don't worry. Now then save everything. Okay, now you can see my API, whatever the API is available now, it is adding inside of my control plane, right?
Yes.
But you can observe it, what is the API status I am getting?
Unregistered.
What is the meaning of unregistered? Now you can see my employee API is now available inside of the API manager, but I don't know whether that API is already running state or not. Got it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that means you are just add the one entry inside of the API manager, but we need to link that API manager employee API with the your runtime plane. Then only we can able to apply the policies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you are just build the car, but the car doesn't have the any petrol. Then we can able to test your ride.
No.
That is the one. Now you are just creating one API, and that API is added inside of your control plane. What is the next thing? First, we need to deploy your application, right?
Yes.
So here the question is, which application we need to deploy? Got it? Hello.
Yeah.
Now you got tell me which application I need to deploy it.
Employee API to.
Which one? Where is my employee API definition? You are just created the RAML only, right?
Yeah. There is no API.
Now you can understand. So you need to create an API depending on this.
Ramel.
That is the one. Now you can understand. Now the actual implementation part is now we can start it. So whatever the RAML you are created, depending on this RAML, we need to create a full-fledged API. Now you can understand the API lifecycle. I will show you one slide. 1 second. 1 second. Yeah. Okay. Now you can see this, whatever the image you are seeing, it is the API life cycle. Now whatever you are seeing just now, this part is we are completed, right? We are designing the RAML and we are simulating, means you are just creating the, what is the one? Marking service, and everything we are created the RAML here, right? Then you can see the outer ring.
Yes.
What is this outer ring?
Build.
Build.
That means you can see whatever the RAML you are designing it. So this is your dummy API. This is the dummy structure, right? So
Yeah.
now what is your requirement? You just take this dummy structure and you want to create your original implementation, full-fledged working API. That we can call it as a
Build.
building up. That technically we can call it as a implementation. So far, whatever we are discussed the part of the course, that is your
Design.
implementation, right? So any point studio you are opening, you are creating the API and everything. What is that one? You are building an API,
Yes.
right? So you are just whatever learn, you are getting implementation. Just now whatever you are learn, that is design. Now
Design.
we need to link up these two, right?
Yes.
That once we link up, we need to manage it. That managing part, what we call it as applying the policies, right? Everything it is coming into one clear picture. So now you can see. So how we can link up this RAML code inside of your Anypoint Studio? First, we can open Anypoint Studio here. Just simple example. Again, I can explain everything, but here you can see. Now you can understand how the real-time project structures are like this one. I'm creating the new workspace, the new. 1 second, I can launch it. Just wait for it. Now you can see for the entire app, there is only one HTTP listener is there. Everything now you can comes into the clear picture for you. Where is your RAML? I'm asking one more time. Where is your RAML?
Inside Exchange.
No. Where is your RAML?
Cloud.
Design center.
Yes, you can see your RAML is available inside of the design center. Where is your asset?
Exchange.
So both are different, guys. Just remember, okay? Why I'm repeating this question means you can able to define your project code in different things. You can see I'm closing everything here. Close the project. 1 second. Wait for
But
it.
whatever we design in design center and publish to Exchange, both are same, right?
No, not same. In the exchange, what we have the only documentation only, right? In the
Yeah. Ramel.
yeah,
Ramel
in the
part.
RAML only we are designing the structure, dummy APIs, right?
Yes.
Now, so before that one, so you can see I'm creating a new API. Now you can see the difference, previous one and this one. So this time I want to create a new project, but I don't want to create directly. I want to create my project depending on the RAML file. You can see there are three things available here. You can observe import published API, import RAML from the local file, download RAML from the.
Design.
So now where is your RAML?
Design center.
So either design center or published API. Published API means from the asset. Okay.
Exchange.
So for example, here I am giving my employee API. Then so here we need to pick this right download from the design center. So I am selecting this one, then click on three dot buttons. Now you can see it is asking for the login information. Why it is asking means,
Connecting to
so from
platform.
which design center you want to get your information. So we need to link up that account, right? You can see I'm linking it. Naresh IT 04. Then here Naresh IT @04. Then click on sign in. Now you can see from this account, is there any APIs are available inside of that one? It is automatically comes here, right? So there is only one API you are created, the RAML file, that is the employee. We can click on this one. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Now it is automatically downloading their RAML definition and everything comes here. Just wait for it. And it is, yeah. Now here you can see this is the one. Just read out this name.
Scaffold.
Scaffold flows.
Scaffolding is nothing but it is automatically creating the flows and structure for you depending on the your RAML code. That procedure, everything we can call it as a scaffolding. Okay. Then you can see I'm clicking on finish. Let's see how the structure is coming.
Oh, is it?
So this is your real-time project structure looks like. Okay. So you can see for this entire application, how many HTTP listeners are there?
Only one.
There is only one HTTP listener is there, but how many method definitions are available? How we can see that method definition? You can able to see what is this method definition?
Get.
Get. What is this method definition?
Post.
Post. That
Post.
means whenever we are hitting the get, automatically this part is executed. Whenever you are hitting the post, this part is executed. Then who redirect your call from here?
HTTP.
API
No,
route.
there is only one important thing is there. What is this one?
API key router.
So this is your interview question. So they are using only one HTTP listener, but how your MuleFlow identify whether it is the get call or the post call or different endpoint. So who can decide that one? Who can routes that one is your API kit router is the responsible for the route your API calls. You can see router. The symbol also you can see different parts are available now. So you are hitting one HTTP listener from whatever the request it is coming the API router. This API router is automatically rethrowing the flowing converting the everything into the proper one. So if you are hitting the gate, then definition is gone. If you're hitting the post, this definition is coming. Okay. So for example, you can see one more advantage is already added the error handling for you. You can see on error propagate, bad request is coming, 404, 500, everything it is coming, right?
How come, sir? We haven't defined that.
That is the power of RAML. It is automatically creating structure for you by default. Okay.
On which basis decide on air propagate or on air continue?
No, you said these are normal dummy definitions only you are giving. So you
Okay.
want, you can see this is a normal one. Na? The 500 means there is a particular method is not available, then method not allowed. So these are the normal generalized error handling they are giving. They are not customized it. Okay.
Oh.
Now you can see the definition inside of your get call.
Can
Go
we
to-
customize?
Yeah, we can customize it one by one. We are going to see it. Okay.
Yes.
So you can see, for example, I'm clicking on this get method transformation message. Let's see what is the data inside of that one. Just wait for it. Oh, you can see
Yes.
this is
same
the
side.
data which is coming from the at the RAML, right?
Yeah.
Now you can go and see inside of the post.
Yes.
That means whatever the method definitions are there, it is coming. Now let's debug this one, whether we can understand. You can see what is the port number for this HTTP listener, how we can do that one. Everything is same. You can see, is there any end path is there here for the HTTP listener?
No.
Now why? Because
No.
so that endpoint is available inside of your API router. It will decide it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it will capture
So
run.
yeah, everything. So for example, what is the port number for the HTTP listener? How we can go it? Simply go here. You can see what is the default port number?
80.
8081. So the base path, it is coming from the this here. You can see what is the base path here? API. Okay. Now I'm going to debug this one. Understand it. I'm adding the debug point here. Let's debug my application. Let's see. This is the original structure of your project. Okay. How we can define? We are not going to create this one. So depending on the raml, it is automatically
Created.
created. Got it? Now you can understand how the first step it is going on.
Yes.
Yes or no? Somewhat. Now we are enter into the debug mode. Let's see. Okay, let's wait for it. Okay, my application is deployed. Now you can see something coming here. What is this one?
API console.
So the console is nothing but this URL used to get the your API documentation. Okay, for example, I'm clicking on the open console. Let's see what it is showing. You can see this is the entire documentation of your API. Observed?
Yes.
So it is always coming like this one. So when someone asks the question, what is the API console do, means the API console is always given the documentation things. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Now we can hit the original one. So go to your Postman and what is the one? Is the one HTTP, and what is my address? Localhost, and what is my default one? 8081. Then tell me what is my endpoint. Always start with the API slash employee. Now you can see here which method definition I'm hitting.
Get.
Then you can see hit on get, then go to here. So now we are at the API kit router. Then this API kit router automatically transfer this entire execution to get
Get.
definition, right? Let's see. Go to here. So you can see which one part is executed.
Get.
Get slash employee. So whatever you are written here, it is automatically executed. Now go on, see. This is the one, right?
Yes.
For example, someone asked this question. So by default, this is the definition. It is coming from my get raml definition. So here I want to do like this one. So I want to add my original implementation. You guys are remember. So what is my get definition always do? It is picking the data from the my database call, right?
Yes.
So I want to add that terminology here. How we can do that one? So generally what they do is either we can create a separate flow, either we can create separate definition, we can add one more configuration file here, and here you can do something, whatever the generally employee, otherwise you can give something like this one. Retrieve
Employee data.
something. You can what depending on employee, you can give something like this one, and retrieve employee info. Okay, then click on this one. Now go to here. Here what you need to do? So you here we need to create a one subflow.
Yes.
Understand? So inside of the subflow, what you need to do, whatever the terminology you want to call it. For example, I am placing the logger here, and you can see one by one. Here, what is the meaning here? It is one
Connecting to data.
get employee subflow. What is the next one? Here we need to pick the data from your database, right? Then
Yes.
here I am giving the database select. This is the original implementation, right?
Yes.
Mm, I'm configuring it. I'm linking the my implementation part with the my
RAM.
raml part. I can select here. What is the one host is a local host? Generally, we can everything it is coming from the my.
Double
What is,
three.
that's right. Here I am configuring everything like this one. What is the port number?
Double
150.
three.
No, 3306, right? 3306. The user root and password is also root, and the
Mhm.
database is the employee. Then click on OK.
Destination.
Yeah. So we'll select star from employee. That's it. Whatever the data is coming, then we can convert them as a transformation message.
Payload.
Whatever the JSON I'm coming, the payload. Okay. Now the question here you can see. So this is your implementation part, right? So
Yes.
how we can call this implementation here?
Flow reference.
That's one. Now, whatever the default is there, you can simply remove here. Then you can use the flow reference component here. You can place the flow reference here. And here the flow reference, which one we need to call it? We need to call it the retro employee subflow. That's it. Here you can give the same name over here as a display name. One second. Okay. Then you can see. So the subflow, whenever you are using flow reference, it is taking some time because it is propagating the everything metadata and everything. Just wait for it. Then we can save and run the program. Let's see what happens. Now we can save everything. Let's wait for the redeployment of our project. Now you can understand this is the code generated
Yes, sir.
structure by Ramel, and this is the so far whatever we are created flows and everything, right?
Yes.
So this implementation part I'm connected to the my structure. Now getting to understand how we can create the flows and how we can add them.
Yes.
So now let's see. Now we can the same thing we can hit previously. This is the dummy data which is coming as a Ramel code. Now you can say I'm hitting this thing.
It is in debug mode, no, sir? Break.
Oh yeah. So that's what. Okay.
Breakpoint is there.
It is in the debug mode. Then we can go to here. Now we are the flow reference. You can see inside of the gate. Now the flow reference, it is automatically jumps to that subflow and start executing everything. Got it? Then go to here. You can see this is the data which is coming from my database. Previously, it is coming as a your dummy response, right? So this is the way we can able to link up your implementation part with the.
Ramel.
Okay, now got it. So at least this is the way we are link up with everything.
Explain.
Can we,
Sorry,
can we have
one more time, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, sir.
So don't worry. Previously, for example, here you can see there is a post method is there, right?
Yes.
So for the post method here, the transformation is there. What is the thing you are written here? It is coming from the your Ramel, right?
Yes.
But what is the original intention of the post method? We need to insert some data inside of the database.
Yes.
Either you can design this entire implementation part here. So generally what we do is we can simply create one more XML file here, and inside of that one we can able to call that subflow.
Yes.
Okay, for example, this is the post, right? So it's up to you. Either you can create the subflow here also. We can create the subflow. I can create a subflow, and here I'm giving. So instead of the flow one, retrieve employee. Otherwise, you can give this name as a.
Insert. Insert.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, insert employee info subflow. Okay, then click on OK. Then here you can write implementation part here. Okay, for example, here I am giving simple transformation message. I don't want to write any, sorry, one second. I am placing here. So whenever I'm hitting this one, let us assume this is my post method call. Okay. Message data something. Okay. Now let us assume this is my implementation part. Whenever I'm hitting this method, So I don't want to return this dummy message. Instead of the dummy message, I want to call my original implementation part. Where that implementation part is available?
Subflow.
Inside of which subflow?
Insert employee.
So how we can call this subflow?
Flow class.
That's it. We can simply place the flow reference here. Here we need to map that one. So where is that one? Retrieve employee is there. Insert employee subflow. Which subflow we want to call it?
Insert.
Then we can select this one. That's it. It is
Yeah.
taking some time. Then you can save the program. Let's compile it. Just wait for it. First time it seems to be little bit vague. Don't worry. 2 or 3 times practicing, it is very easy, guys. So for example, okay. I think today a overflow is the okay. It is showing an error. Let's see. Does not exist. Yeah, what is the problem? We are not at saved that file.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the one. Again, we need to
Subflow is not.
reapply. Yeah. Now it is saved that one. Let's wait it. Meanwhile, we can see. So you are creating the flow from the RAML, right? Where that RAML is available.
Resources.
So you can see everything it is available inside of the resources. SRC main resources is it automatically creating one API. Click on this API. You can see this is your RAML code.
Here also we can do some changes.
So for example, here you are adding the method definitions or modification to, then how we can do that one. So those are not reflecting automatically here. So I will show you that thing tomorrow. Okay.
So we
for
can
example-
change RAML locally from
Yes,
storage.
yes. Here what I'm telling. Here, for example, there is get post is there. You are adding some more endpoint. Or existing one you are changed. So how we can do how that map is that thing we will discuss. I think tomorrow not possible. Day after tomorrow, right?
Okay.
Okay. I will show everything. Okay, don't worry.
Got deployed.
Okay, it is deployed. Then go to
Post call.
post method. I think it should return an error, right? Let's see why it is returning an error. Anyone? Oh, you can see when we are enter into the API router. So I am saying this flow is returns an error. Let's see why it is returning an error. Let's see what is the error message we are getting. Why it is returning? I will show you here. So it is returning. Why it is returning unsupported media type? The post method always expecting the
body
section. Inside of the body section, I want to pass JSON, right? Then only it is, you can see this is validation, right? Now you can see we are sending the one, and let's say now we can see now we are entering into the post method definition. The flow reference is there. It is automatically pointing to that subflow and start executing that one. Okay. Now whatever the execution coming like this one. Got it? That means you can see. So is there any validation? The schema validations are failed where we can get in itself the starting of your flow. That means API root coder itself, it is stopping your execution, right?
Right.
So from you are not entering into ZF So this is the first level of authentication, right? Any validations are there, any mismatched data is there, any query parameter we are passing wrongly. So here itself it is throwing an error. This is the first level of your schema validation. Got it? Yeah, this is the advantage of using API reporter. Okay. So I think we are seeing so many things, how we can return the RAML and once publishing into of Exchange, then how we can define the implementation part of any Point Studio. Okay. So just practice all these two things, and in the day after tomorrow, I will show, for example, if there any modification is happened inside of the RAML, how we are going to change it, everything. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
One by one. Okay. The RAM. So that's all for today's guys. Is there any doubts? Then you can